What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at the Wii Vision R. Let's do it. Alright, thanks everybody for tuning back into the channel. Today we've got this very interesting little knife here from We Knife Co. collaboration with designer Snex. He designed this very interesting super lock mechanism that we're going to talk about here. But this is the Vision R. Very newly hit dealers, and I don't even think it's widely available for most dealers yet. I know BladeOps got it here first, so again, I will be linking this exact knife to BladeOps in the description below. Please check it out and go purchase it from them because helps me out and helps out the channel. So yeah, definitely go check out the link below. But yeah, these guys are super hot right now, very, very new, fresh off the presses. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this interesting lock mechanism here. It's not quite a back lock. It's just something new entirely, the super lock, as I mentioned. Basically has what I understand to be a spring or springs here down towards the bottom of the knife, and there's a little interlocking mechanism which they conveniently allow you to see. And basically what you do is just push down, and you can see it came down really quick, but you just push down on the lock bar straight down, and the whole thing sort of moves back, right, allowing for that little little space to clear. You can see right there where it clears the little notch, and the blade moves freely. So that's what's holding the blade in place, and then as soon as you press it, it moves, and then the detent is that same spring because it hits this little groove here on the other side of the blade. I don't know if I explained that too well, but you can see kind of what's going on. So what's really cool is you can use this to open the knife and to close it. And it's very easy to do. Of course, this thing is on bearings, so exceptional Wii action. You can open it in a variety of ways. You know, the flick, the thumb, and then the super lock flick. I'm sure other people will figure out other ways. I think you can do it reverse too. Let's see, come on, there we go. You can also close it with your thumb, which is a little risky. You've got to put your finger up towards the choil a little bit, and then you can close it with your thumb. But I prefer the pointer finger. So all in all, I'm actually really impressed with that action and that feel of that lock. It seems really strong. You know, the force, the way it's transmitted, it's going to be, you know, if you're working with the blade, it's going to be lateral. I just cut myself. It's going to be laterally in that direction. Great. The force is going to be laterally in the direction of the lock bar so that it's going to be extra strong. It's not going to fail on you. Let me go take care of this. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. It's never happened before on camera. So just finished talking about the lock. Yeah, overall, really nice. I like the action. I like the lockup. It feels super sturdy. No blade play, anything like that. So yeah, really a win on that. I would like to see more knives with this. Really like that. Let's move on to talk about some other standard stuff. So the blade. Really like this blade. It's kind of a sheep's foot design. 20 CV on the steel with that really nice, very subtle marking from Wii, like they always do. There it is. 20 CV, I think, you know, I haven't really had much experience actually using their 20 CV steel. The other knives I have from Wii are S35VN. So I'm not really sure about the heat treat. I think, yeah, you have to look at some data. I haven't really seen much information out there. They say they harden it between, you know, 59 and 61, which is a little concerning to me if they're doing 50, if they're running, you know, 20 CV at 59 HRC, but it's really going to come down to how well it performs. So we'll see on that. If I end up owning this knife and I can actually use it, I'll get back to you on that. But otherwise, the bead blast looks really, really nice. I like these very subtle grind lines here. It's kind of got a tertiary, I almost cut myself again. It's got almost a tertiary sort of grind here, so it gives it those really nice subtle lines. And then with the bead blast, it kind of softens all the features. It just looks really sharp. No pun intended. It looks really clean. It's got kind of a nice sterile look. And then they did a good job of chamfering all the edges, right? They chamfered the edges on the hole, which Spyderco needs to take note. They chamfered the whole spine. So it's just got a really nice, rounded, smooth, professional, clean look. And I just like that sheep's foot design. It's something haven't seen too much of from Wii. I think it's a really utilitarian shape, you know. You get that good slicing action. Probably a really good slicer too. It's got a nice flat grind, comes to a really good thin edge. It's very sharp, obviously, as I've just found out. So yeah, blade, excellent, about 3.5 inches long. Good sharpening choil here. Well, you could call it a finger choil. You could put your finger up there, so that works too. Let's look at the handle. I'm gonna close the blade for safety. So solid titanium, anodized blue, nice stonewash. Really, you could see in the opening video, the opening clips, how well it reflects the sun. So it's beautiful. Wii does a great job with their anodizing, as you could see with this guy as well. They just do some really cool stuff with their titanium. So I appreciate that. You know, they've got a few models with this same kind of colorway out there. Really, really good. They've got a couple other colors too for this particular knife. I want to say like a bronze, black, a regular bead blast. So if this doesn't quite, you know, tickle your fancy, they've got other stuff out there. Can I do it left-handed? Yes, I can. So yeah, handle looks really, really nice. It's a very thin, slim knife. We'll talk about the clip a little bit later, but it's very clean. It's kind of got a different look from what you're used to seeing. You know, a little sci-fi looking, which you know, that speaks to me. I love it. Big fan. And then the holes here milled in the middle. Weight reduction, as well as just looking really nice. They're nice and chamfered, just like the blade. We've got these two other holes in the back and on the front. The back serves as a lanyard hole. The front, I don't really know what purpose it serves, but it does give you a nice window into the innards here of the knife that allow you to see how that lock mechanism works. So I really appreciate that. That's cool, and it kind of gives it a symmetrical look on the handles. So handles, nice, very smooth, very slim. Comfortable to hold, yes. I don't know why I said it that way. Ergonomics are very good. So it's a little bit on the bigger side, right? It's like a medium to large knife. And so I get a full 4-finger grip, fills the palm very nicely. Because the clip is on the back, again, I'm gonna talk about that a little later, there's no hot spots on the flat faces of the handle. So it's just very, very comfortable to hold. I can get, you know, up on the knife. There's no jimping. And if you guys know me, you know I'm a jimping guy. I get why they didn't do it here, because this isn't really a hard work knife and it's supposed to look really nice and clean. So the clean lines I appreciate, but you know, as always, I like to have jimping. But again, I understand why they didn't do it. But yeah, very comfortable. You can choke up a little bit. Kind of, my thumb kind of sits right in front of this protrusion of the lock bar, or you can hold it like this. But yeah, the typical, you know, grip that I would take is right here. So I kind of push up on this lock bar a little bit. If you squeeze too hard, it'll pinch into your thumb a little bit, but just don't squeeze it. Simple as that. So yes, ergonomically great. Not too heavy. You know, these help to reduce the weight. Titanium itself is not the heaviest of materials either. So handle's really nice. Fit and finish, Wii is excellent. You know, so it's dead center. You know, action is great right out of the box. No blade play. Grind is perfect. Yeah, it's really good. I'm not surprised. That's not something I've had an issue with Wii Knife Co. So we covered the normal stuff. Let's talk about this clip before we close out here. Yeah, so it's definitely different, right? Maybe a little polarizing. I've heard some people say they're not a fan. I've heard some people say they're a huge fan. I'm actually liking it so far. I wanted to have an open mind coming into this, and I'm pleasantly surprised, and I think you will be too once you hear the reasons for it. So, reason number one, like I mentioned before, no clip on the actual front and side faces of the knife. So it sits really nice and flat, which is kind of cool. There is no real show side because both sides are completely identical. And when you're holding it, you have no hot spots because the clip does not dig into your the meaty part of your hand when you're holding it. So it's in the back, but I don't feel it. I just feel this back part, which is smooth. I don't feel the little ramp at all because of the way the knife is designed and the way it cups into this little divot in my palm. So that's really cool. I really like that. And then probably most importantly to show, let me get my shorts up here. Don't worry, these are not the shorts I am wearing. So I'm going to show you how it goes in the pocket and kind of explain another one of the benefits. So I would put it in my pocket like this with the clip on the top side. Clip it in. Okay, so now you can see, despite the clip being on the back of the knife, it sits, it sits flat. Okay, so you can see the outline of the knife there. It sits flat in the pocket. And it is a really slim knife, and there's no protrusions or anything on the other side, so it's very smooth on your hand, right? And then the important thing to note here is that when I run my hand over the top, I don't feel the clip at all. I only feel fabric because of the way it's situated. And this is the same way it sits when it's attached, when the shorts are on your body. I was just carrying this around this morning and tested it out. But it hides the clip essentially from the outside of your shorts, not in the sense that you can't see it, but in the sense that you can't feel it. So what's important about this is that if you brush up against a car or, I don't know, your fridge, whatever it is, it probably won't be in as much danger of scratching compared to a normal clip, which sticks out of your pocket and is a complete hazard to any paint job in the surrounding area. So I appreciate that. That's pretty cool. And it just, it sits cleanly in there, more cleanly than I expected. It's a little bit hard to get out of your pocket, but I think that's a factor of it being a deep carry and not necessarily the fact that it's on the back of the knife. It's just a very deep carry clip, which is something that you have to deal with any deep carry clip. So quick size comparison here that I think is really useful. It is almost the exact same size in both dimensions, both the handle and the blade, as the 940 in terms of length, right? So if you're wondering what knife is it very similar to in length, 940, almost identical in length. In thickness, it's a little different. The blade obviously has a much different grind, different overall shape with this larger kind of heel. Although the tips are actually pretty similar, which is kind of cool. And then, of course, the handles differ in a varying different amounts of dimension actually, I guess they're pretty similar in thickness. That's pretty cool. And then also real quick, just wanted to compare it with the kite fin, which is another sort of smaller Wii. Pretty different, obviously. Both have that cool blue, but this is my other Wii knife that I have, as well as the 604. So I don't know if you happen to have the 604 and the kite fin, now you know that the Vision fits somewhere right in the middle. But very different designs from a few different eras of Wii Knife Co. With the newest being, of course, the Sky. So overall, blade is great. The handle's beautiful, very, very comfortable, both to hold and to carry. Looks, I think, really cool. It has that kind of cool sci-fi professional looking. It's kind of a weird blend, but it works. It works for me. And then, of course, the Super Lock, which is something I'm definitely curious and interested in seeing more of in the future with other models, because I think this thing has potential. I think it's really, really good. And if you're not sure, buy one anyways and check it out, because you won't be disappointed. So that's all I have to say about this guy for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. And we'll see you in the next one. All right, take care.